Lovely. Okay, so welcoming everybody to class this afternoon. Just to say that for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brenda Ward, and I've been a yoga teacher for 16 years, but I've practiced yoga pretty much my entire adult life. So you will be in very safe hands. But of course, if anything at all doesn't feel comfortable as you're practicing, if anything at all doesn't feel appropriate, then please stop and then begin again only when you're ready to. So I'd like you to take 100% responsibility for your own health and your own safety as you practice this afternoon. So what we're going to do this afternoon, I've got kind of two ideas that I'd like to kind of bring into our practice today. The first is I just want to have a very brief discussion about our digestive health, because this is something that's been, I think, undermined a little bit during lockdown. So we're going to do some work for our digestion. And we're going to bring that into our physical practice. We're going to do some practices that help to kind of boost and support our digestive function. And I'd also like to introduce the Sun Salutation. I know a lot of you know this practice, but not everybody does. So I've got 3 different Sun Salutations that we're going to work with. A simple kneeling Sun Salutation, then what we call a half Sun Salutation, and then we're going to progress to the full Sun Salutation. So there'll be a Sun Salutation for each of you, dependent on your kind of needs and your ability. And Sun Salutation is such a wonderful practice to work with on a very regular, if not daily, practice. It's so beneficial for all the different systems of the body. So again, it's good for our digestive health, but it's also really good for our immunity. It's good for our endocrine system. It's good for our respiratory system, all the different systems of the body. So that's what we're going to be working with today. So we're going to be working with digestive health and introducing you to some of the Sun Salutation practices. So in terms of digestive health, obviously during lockdown, you know, some of us aren't kind of maintaining the routine with our food and our eating that we would normally have. Perhaps we're getting up later, perhaps we're skipping our breakfast, perhaps we're having a later lunch, perhaps we're skipping lunch, perhaps we're eating later in the evening. And, you know, the body, the systems of the body love routine. They love to know exactly when we're eating, when we're having our breakfast, when we're having our lunch, and when we're having our dinner. And when that's undermined, it can really affect our body's systems. And this can lead to problems over the long term. So one of the most important things for our digestive health going forward, both in the short term and in the long term, is to make sure that we're eating at regular times every single day. That seems so obvious, but it's so important. So making sure you're eating breakfast, your lunch and your dinner at regular times. The other thing is it's very beneficial to drink a nice big mug of hot water, not with lemon or ginger or anything else, just a mug of plain hot water when you wake up in the morning. Our digestive system, you know, the yogis describe it as being like a flame, and that flame kind of burns a little bit lower when we're asleep, and we need to kind of stimulate that flame when we wake up in the morning to really kickstart our digestion. And the yogis say the best way of doing this is with a nice big mug of hot water. So obviously we're not going to burn the mouth, but we don't want to have it too kind of lukewarm. We want to have it nice and warm, and that will help our kind of flame to burn brightly. Linked to that, ice cold water is, according to the yogis, an absolute no-no. It dampens the flame, or it completely extinguishes the flame, and it has quite a negative impact on our digestive health. And I know that when we go out for meals, I know we're not going out for meals at the moment, often as soon as you sit down, you'll be presented with a big jug of ice cold water, you know, sometimes with a lot of ice in it. That's, according to the yogis, the worst thing that you could do when you're having a meal. It really extinguishes your flame. So making sure that when you're having your meal, again, you're drinking warm or hot liquids just to assist your digestion. And then the final thing is, and this is probably the hardest of all of them, no snacking between meals. Because once you have eaten a meal, your body's working hard to digest it. It's creating all these kind of digestive juices and enzymes to help break down the food. And then we have a gap before the body's getting ready for the next meal. And if you're constantly snacking, constantly eating, it's really throwing the digestive system out. It doesn't really know where it is. Whether it's digesting, preparing for the next meal, it doesn't really know where it is. So no snacking either. So routine, hot water in the morning, avoiding ice cold water as much as you can, and then trying to avoid that snacking in between meals, and really looking after your digestive health, because it really is integral and such a kind of important part of your entire health. Okay, so that's the little kind of spiel. I've been doing quite a lot of theory in my classes at the moment because I've got a lot more time to do that. What we're going to do then is we'll just start off with some breathing so that we can center. So let's all come into this lovely pose called Sukhasana. So easy pose. So crossing our legs if that's comfortable. I'm just going to come back onto my mat. Now this isn't for everybody, so if cross legs isn't comfortable, we can stretch out the legs or we can tuck under the legs. The most important thing is that we've got a nice upright spine. So whether you need to lean yourself against a chair or a wall, just something to keep the spine nice and tall.
Can I just advise everybody so that they can just see yourself, if they go on to speaker view, they'll just see you larger rather than gallery view where they see everybody.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great idea. Okay, so if we can just very gently close our eyes, it just helps us to focus better. And just taking a moment to observe how your physical body is feeling right now. And then we'll come to an awareness of our breath. So we'll bring the awareness into the nostrils. We'll become aware of the breath as it comes in. And the breath as it flows out. We'll become aware of the cool air as it comes in. And then the slightly warmer air as it flows out. And then we'll take the awareness into the abdomen. And we'll become aware of the breath here as well. So we begin to notice that as we breathe in, the abdomen expands, it opens to receive the breath. And then as you breathe out, the abdomen gently draws back towards the spine, letting go of the breath. So breathing in, the abdomen is expanding. And then as you breathe out, the abdomen is gently drawing back. And again, so breathing in, the abdomen gently expanding. And then breathing out, the abdomen gently drawing back towards the spine. Let's take that twice more with the breath. And don't worry if there are distractions around you. You know, if you've got children with you, that's absolutely fine. They're so welcoming to the class. Don't worry about the distractions. Just come back to the breath. And then we'll gently release. Good, so now that we have found our breath, we'll just make a little mental note to continue to breathe nasally and also to breathe abdominally during our practice this afternoon. So I'm just going to see which children are in the group with me because I don't know whether I can see that well. Hi there, nice to see you. Hi, lovely to see you. Excellent. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we'll lie down. So if you can all take a semi-supine position, you've got your knees up and we've got the hands on the knees. Okay, so nice and relaxed in the body. And then we're going to rock gently from side to side. So just rocking gently from side to side just to loosen the back and keep the breath flowing and steady. And then we'll take the knees to one side, head to the other as we breathe in, and then as we breathe out in the opposite direction. So breathing in, knees to one side, head to the other, and then breathing out in the opposite direction. Good, and then we'll come back to center. We're going to separate the knees more. We'll take the arms inside the legs, we'll catch hold of the ankles, and then we're going to circle the feet. We're going to make these nice, big, generous movements with the feet. Moving the toes as well, so giving the toes, children, a little wriggle. And then we'll go in the other direction. So we're getting all our lovely energy moving so that we feel refreshed and energized. Good, okay, let's bring the knees back together, hands on the knees. Breathing in, point the toes, and then as you breathe out, push into your heels so your toes are pointing up to the ceiling. And then breathe in, point the toes away from you. And then breathe out, push into the heels, toes pointing up to the ceiling. That's lovely. Let's just do that one more time. Breathing in and breathing out. Everything is done on the breath. And then we'll drop the feet down. Good. Okay, we'll step the feet up again, hands on the knees. We'll breathe in, and then as you breathe out, draw your knees into your body. Take your knees out to the sides, and then breathing in, we'll draw the knees back. So breathing out, draw the knees into the body, out to the sides, and then breathing in, we'll draw the knees back. So we're going to make these nice, big, generous circles, just waking up our hips, and also massaging the back. So I'm hoping, Shirley, that this is comfortable for your back. It's just giving your back a little massage. So just do what you can, and if anything doesn't feel comfortable, obviously, especially with your back, then leaving it out. Okay, so then we're going to bring the knees back, and then this part is a little bit harder. So we're going to guide the right knee away from the body. We're going to bring the left knee into the body, and we're going to make two different circles. So that might take a little bit more thinking about, but we're making two nice, big, generous circles, just opening up our hips more. So you're working in your own private space. And then we'll come back to center, and then we'll go in the other direction. Lovely. And you can be quite playful with that. So we don't want to be too serious. Lovely. Okay, so let's bring the knees back and take a breath. Good. Okay, now the first position that we're going to do for our digestion, I've been doing this one for years, so I'm sure Glenys, who's somebody I used to teach a long time ago, I'm sure you remember this one. I'm still doing this one because it's still so effective. It's a really good one for cleansing and detoxing. So the legs up, the knees are bent. We're interlacing the fingers either over the knees or over the shins. We're going to breathe in, and then as we breathe out, lifting up head, neck and shoulders, we'll draw the knees in, we'll tuck in the elbows, and then squeeze the abdomen. And then breathe in to release, and breathe out to relax. Now this is a really good one to work with first thing in the morning. Breathing in. As you breathe out, knees to nose, compress the abdomen, hug in the elbows. Breathe in to release, and breathe out to relax. Third round, breathe in. Can you bring the knees in more? Squeeze, hug in the elbows. Breathe in, release, and breathe out, relax. And just taking that one more time while I watch you. So breathing in, as you breathe out, knees to nose. Now can we hold that for one full breath? And we know that that is one in breath, one out breath. That is what constitutes a full breath. Good. And breathe in, release, and breathe out, relax. So that's the first position for your digestion, which I'd like you to remember. Okay, so just rocking that out. Now the next one, again, really simple. You don't need to do anything complicated in yoga, particularly if you're a beginner. So dropping the feet down, hip distance apart. If you've got space to either side, stretching the arms out to the sides, level with your shoulders. Head is centered. And we're going to twist. So we'll breathe in, and then as you breathe out, just allow your legs to fall over to the right and turn your head gently to the left. And then breathe in, come back to center. Good. Breathing out, taking your knees over to the left, turning your head gently to the right. Good. And breathe into center. Breathing out, taking the knees over to the right, head gently left. And breathe in center. And breathing out, taking the knees over to the left, head gently right. Good. And breathe in center. Now finally taking the knees over to the right, we're going to hold this position. So we can either just keep the knees where they are, over to the right. If we want to make it stronger, we're going to release the bottom foot and place the right foot, the bottom foot, on top of the left knee. And if you're not quite sure, just take a look at my position. So I've released my bottom foot and I've placed it on my top knee, and I'm flexing the foot. So that means to push into the heel, and that just takes us more into the outer hip. Okay, we'll keep the head centered for this one, and we'll hold that for a count of 3. Good. Okay, and then really slowly, we're going to bring the knees back to center. We're going to keep the legs in that same kind of shape. And then if we step the left foot off the floor, still flexing the right foot, so you're still pushing into the right heel. You've got your arms out to the sides, and then you're going to rock from side to side. Just rocking from side to side. That's going to loosen your hips more. And then make nice big circles, just releasing your back more. So keep the breath flowing steady. Remember, breathing nasally, breathing abdominally. Good. And then we'll go in the other direction. And it doesn't matter if we've got, things going on around us or we've got noise in the background. It doesn't matter. Just focus on what you can. Lovely. And then come back to center. Drop the left foot down. Uncross the legs. And take a break. Or take a breath. Not take a break. Take a breath. Okay, so let's go to the other side. Breathing in. As you breathe out, releasing your knees over to the left. Now either holding that first position, or if you want to make it stronger, taking the bottom foot onto the outside of the right knee, flexing the foot. And we'll hold that for 3 breaths. So this side may be tighter. It might be a lot easier, just observing. Good. And then we'll breathe in. We'll bring the legs back to center. We'll step the right foot off the floor. And then again, it's rocking first. So just rocking, just nicely loosening the hips, encouraging a good blood supply into the lower back. Just keep the breath flowing and steady. And then when you've done several rocking side to side, then you can start to circle. Just stimulating the blood flow, but also the pranic flow, the energy flow in the lower back, and then go in both directions. Lovely, good. And then dropping that foot down and uncrossing the legs. So we've got 2 positions there. We've got the first one, bringing the knees up and squeezing. We've also got the twisting, which is also good for helping the body to cleanse. And the next one we're going to work with is like a slow motion cycling movement. Okay, so I'm sure the children will be really good at this one. So if we keep the knees bent, the arms are alongside the body, and then we'll stretch out the right leg along the mat, keeping the left foot on the floor. Then we're going to push into the right heel, palms are pressing into the floor, and then we'll breathe in, lifting up the right leg slowly. Good, breathe out, bend the knee, again squeeze your abdomen. And now hold out the breath as you straighten the leg. It's just a couple of centimeters from the floor. So just a little way from the floor, but not actually touching it. And that is 1 round. So breathing in, lift the leg. Breathe out, bend the knee. Squeeze, good. Hold out the breath as you straighten the leg, but not actually touching the floor. Good, 3rd round. Breathe in, lift the leg. Breathe out, bend the knee, squeeze. Hold out the breath as you straighten the leg. And we're going to do that 5 more times. I'll just take you through 1 more. Breathing in, lift. Breathe out, bend. Hold out the breath. And just do that 4 more times on your own. Not too fast. In yoga, we always come back to the breath. So the breath leads us and the movement follows the breath. And when you've taken that the final time, I'd like you then to just drop your right leg onto the floor, roll on the heel, and then if we bend the right leg, stretch out the left leg, and we'll go to the other side. Okay, so push into the left heel. I'll start you off with a couple. Breathe in, lift the left leg. Breathe out, bend the knee. Hold out the breath as you straighten the leg, push into the heel. 1 round. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, bend, good. Hold out the breath as you straighten the leg. We're going to do that 6 more times. Please, on the breath. Noticing differences between the right and the left sides. And if we can flex the foot as we do that, so keep pushing into the heel as you do that. And when you've completed, you're just relaxing the leg. That's lovely. Children doing extremely well. I'm glad that you are, I'm so glad that you've come to class today. And then we'll just roll on the heel and we'll just relax that side. Lovely. So we've got one more pose that we're going to work with, but we're not going to work with it just yet. It's one that we do when we're kneeling. So before we do that, we're just going to take a bridge. So this is good for our breathing and for lifting our energy. Not so much about the digestion now, just lifting our energy and encouraging good full breathing. So if we drop the feet down, arms alongside the body. Now we're going to take the arms overhead, so just make sure you haven't got anything behind you that's going to kind of be, you know, knocked over. So just make sure you've got a nice clear space behind you. And then we're going to breathe in, taking the arms over, the back stays down. And as you breathe out, lower the arms, press into the feet, lifting your lower back, your mid back and your upper back into your bridge. Breathing in, arms go over, the back stays up, so it's a lovely flowing bridge. And then breathing out as you release your bridge. So lower the arms and lower your back. Second round, so breathe in, arms over, back stays down. Breathe out, lower the arms as you press into your feet, lifting your lower back, your mid back and your upper back. Breathe in, arms over, back stays up. Reach into your fingertips, press down into your feet. And breathing out as you release your bridge. Just going to take that one final time. Breathing in, arms over, back stays down. Breathe out, lower the arms, lifting the back. Breathing in, arms over, back stays up. Let's hold that one if it's comfortable. So let's make sure that we're nicely grounded through our feet. We're reaching into the fingertips. Now we're going to engage our front thigh muscles, our quadriceps, and breathe. And Sue, you asked me about chest opening and heart opening. We could work with this as a nice heart opening pose. And then breathing out, coming down. So it's very energizing. If we're feeling quite tired, it's a very energizing pose. Also, and the research is out there, it's said to be good for our immunity. Okay, so bringing the knees up. Let's go back to that knees on the chest position, just taking the knees forwards and back. And then we'll drop the feet down. We'll roll onto one side, pushing up from here. And I just want to do the final pose for our digestion. And then we're going to move on to some lovely sun salutations. Okay, so the position I'm in is called the Thunderbolt. So it's sitting back on your heels. You've got your big toes together, and then you've got your heels out to the side. So your sitting bones are kind of nestled in that little bowl that you've created. But if that doesn't feel comfortable for your knees, then just cross your legs or just stretch out your legs. Your knees have got to be comfortable. Let me just make sure I can see everybody. Okay, lovely. So this is one of the very few, actually it's the only pose that I know of in yoga that you can do immediately after you've eaten. So if you're feeling very heavy, you're feeling very full and your digestive system seems a bit stuck, this is the pose to get into. We're going to do with this with some breathing. So if we turn the palms over, we're nice and tall through the spine. We'll find the breath and breathe in. Then as you breathe out, interlace your fingers and turn your palms out. And just take a nice stretch there. Good. Breathe in, lift the arms up. Side body long. Breathe out, taking the arms wide. Roll back the shoulders. This is lovely. Open the chest. And that is one round. So second round, breathing in, palms turned over. Good. Breathing out, interlace your fingers, turn your palms away. Breathe in, lift the arms up, kneeling mountain, side body long. Breathing out, taking the arms around the body, roll back the shoulders and open the chest. Really good for your posture. Good, lovely. Really good breathing, everybody. Third round, breathing in. As you breathe out, interlace your fingers, turn your palms out, good. Breathe in, lifting the arms. Breathing out, taking the arms wide. Roll back the shoulders, open the chest. Good, and again, breathing in. And another thing about this movement or this little sequence is it encourages some lovely deep abdominal breathing, and the children at school will know that this encourages us to feel very calm and very relaxed. Good. Okay, so I'd like to watch you, all of you, do that twice more, please, in your own breathing time. So if you can, gently closing your eyes now. And just working with your own breath. That is beautiful. Good. And when you've completed, just sitting with your hands in your lap, and I'm just going to do a little test for the children that I teach. So I hope you're listening, children. Can you come into, I just want to see whether I can ask you to do your mindful bodies. Can you remember how to do your mindful bodies? Okay, excellent. So we're crossing our legs. I can't quite see. Lovely, absolutely beautiful. And we've got the palms turned over. Good. And that is absolutely beautiful. Let's see if we can both go into mindful body. That's absolutely beautiful. Can we just sit quietly for a moment? Well done. I'm so proud of you. That's fantastic. Well done, both of you. Lovely. All right, so let's just release from there. Let's just stretch out the legs. And then we're going to take some sun salutation practice. So we're going to do a kneeling sun salutation, then we'll do a half sun salutation, and then we're going to go into a full sun salutation. So if we come into this position again, so into what we call Thunderbolt, make sure that the knees are comfortable. And then if we bring the hands to the heart. So traditionally, sun salutation is done in the morning. We can do it any time of the day, but traditionally it was done in the morning, just to welcome in the new day and celebrate the sun. So we bring the hands to the heart. And then before we begin, we breathe in fully. We fill our lungs. And then breathing out from the heart. And then breathing in, take the arms out to the sides and lift the arms up and salute the sun. Now as we breathe out, we can maybe take the knees a little bit away from each other and then come down. We call this pose of the child. Then we breathe in, we come into a tabletop position, so hands and knees. And then as you breathe out, tuck under your toes, push up and back into down dog. Then we breathe in, drop the knees down. We breathe out, taking the hips back to the heels. We breathe in, we engage our abdominal muscles, and we come up now to an upright kneeling. And then we breathe out and we come back to the heart. And that is one round of kneeling sun salutation. Good, let's do that again. Breathe in before you begin. Breathe out from the heart. Breathe in, arms out to the sides, lifting the arms up. Breathing out, bowing down to the earth. Breathe in, come to tabletop. Breathe out, tuck under your toes, push up and back into your down dog. Can we hold that one for one full breath? Breathe in, drop the knees down. Breathe out, hips go back. Breathe in, engage the abdominal muscles, rise up. Breathe out, come back to the heart, and just do what you can. Even a little bit of movement is a really good thing. The body loves to move. Third round. Breathe in, filling your lungs. Breathe out from the heart. Breathing in as you salute the sun. Breathing out, bowing down to the earth. Breathe in, tabletop. Breathe out, down dog pose. Let's hold that for 2 breaths. Breathe in, drop down to your knees. Breathe out, hips go back. Breathe in and salute the sun. Breathe out, come back to the heart. Okay, so I'm just going to come a bit closer to the screen now and watch you. 4th round. So breathing in before you begin. Breathe out from the heart. Breathe in and salute the sun. Breathe out, bow down to the earth. Breathe in, tabletop. Breathe out, down dog pose. Again, let's hold for 2 breaths, toes under, up and back. Beautiful down dog, encouraging the heels down. 2 breaths. Lovely, good. Breathe in, drop the knees down. Breathe out, hips going back. Breathe in and salute the sun. Beautiful, breathe out, come back to the heart. Good, we're going to do 2 more rounds. I'll take you through one final one and then you can work on your own. So breathe in, filling your lungs. Breathe out from the heart. Breathe in and salute the sun. Good, breathing out, bang down to the earth. This is beautiful. Breathing in, tabletop pose. Breathing out, down dog pose. 2 breaths. And then for the adults, if we can engage the pelvic floor muscles and draw in the abdominal muscles. Dropping down to your knees. Lovely. And releasing, hips going back. And then rising up, upright kneeling. That's it. Beautiful. Good. And breathe out, come back to the heart. Lovely. So if you just do that one final time on your own, please, in your own breathing time. And we'll hold that down dog for 2 breaths. And I'll keep a really good eye on you as you're practicing. Beautiful. And we'll come back to the heart. And we'll just take a moment because it's nice to observe how yoga makes us feel. So it's nice just to take a moment there, just observing how that feels. And it can be something as simple as, do I feel more energized or do I feel more relaxed? Just very simple questions, but just observing, how does that feel? Good. Okay, so if we just release the knees now, just dropping your hips to one side, and then we just stretch out the legs just to refresh the legs and just giving them a nice massage. Okay, so that's one of the sun salutations. The next one is from a standing position. So if we can all come up, and you might need to just adjust your camera a little bit so that I can see at least most of your body. Okay, so let's just take our mountain pose first. So we always come up into a mountain before we move into our other poses. Okay, and when we're doing our yoga poses, standing yoga poses, we start with the feet and then we work our way up. So the first thing to do is just to check that the feet are no wider than our front hips and to ground down through the 4 corners of the feet. So the big toe joints, the little toe joints, the inner and the outer heels, because sometimes we'll splay in or kind of cave out. We need to make sure the body weight is equally distributed. Then we bring the awareness up through the legs. Can we engage these muscles here, the quadricep muscles, so we feel lovely and strong? Good. Now we've done some bridge, so the chest should feel open. The arms are a little away from the body. And then we know that we have the chin level with the earth. So we're not dropping the chin down. We're not taking the head back too far. We're just keeping the chin level with the earth. And let's take 3 breaths here. Filling the lungs again. And then emptying the lungs. Hannah, if you just take your legs in just a little bit, if that's comfortable. So rather than the external hip, we're looking for the inner hip. That's the guideline for our feet. Good. Okay, and then just shaking out. Lovely. Okay, so half sun salutation for when we want a more gentle practice. And we can also use it as a warm-up for our full sun salutation, but it's a much gentler version and it's very accessible for everybody. So if we bring the hands again over the heart, we'll find the breath and breathe in, and then we'll breathe out from the heart. Then we'll breathe in, again we'll take the arms out to the sides and lift the arms up. And we call that side body long, so nice length in the side body. Breathing out, taking the arms out to the sides, begin to hinge forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to and come into what is called full forward bend pose, or in Sanskrit, Uttanasana. Then we place the hands above the knees, not on the knee joints, above the knees. We tuck in the elbows and we lift the chin. And we feel very broad and spacious across our lower back and our sacrum. Breathing out, come all the way down. Then we press into the feet. We take the arms out to the sides. One more time. Coming up, side body long. Reach into your fingertips. And then breathing out, we come back to the heart. And take a breath. Okay, second round. Breathing in before you begin. Breathing out from the heart. Breathing in, arms out to the sides, lifting the arms up. Breathing out, coming all the way down, bending the knees as much as you need to. Breathe in, hands above the knees, tuck in the elbows, lift the chin. Feel nice and open in the lower back. Breathe out, come all the way down, again, bending the knees as much as you need to. Breathe in, press into the feet, rising up, arms out to the sides, coming all the way up. Side body long, and breathing out, coming back to the heart. Third round, breathing in before you begin. Breathing out from the heart. Breathing in as you salute the sun. Open up to light and energy. Good, breathing out, bowing down to the earth. Breathing in, hands above the knees, long spine, lift the chin. Good, breathing out, come all the way down. Breathe in, press into active feet rising up. And breathing out, coming back to the heart. So we're going to take that one final time. And this time we're going to hold the second forward bend for several breaths. Again, really good for digestion. So breathe in before you begin. Breathe out from the heart. Breathe in and salute the sun. Breathe out, bow down to the earth. Good. Breathe in, half forward bend. Breathe out, full forward bend. And this one we're going to hold. Now, we can either leave the hands where they are, or we can place our hands on opposite elbows, or we can hold onto our big toes, or we can slide our fingers underneath our toes. There's lots of different ways of working with this. We keep softness in the knees as much as we need to. There shouldn't be any discomfort in the lower back. And breathe. And just notice that compression on the abdomen. This is helping your body to flush out. And then releasing your hands. Place your, just coming up as you did before, arms out to the sides, coming all the way up slowly, slowly. Good, and then we'll come back to the heart and we'll just take a moment there. We'll just let everything settle, we'll let the blood pressure settle. We'll just let everything to settle. And again, we'll just observe how that feels. Just a little yoga goes a very long way. Okay, so now that we've done kneeling sun salutation, we've done half sun salutation. I'm going to offer you full sun salutation, but obviously this is only for those of you who are stronger in your practice. And if you don't have any medical conditions, if you do, just please sit this one out or go back to either the kneeling sun salutation or the half sun salutation. Okay, so I'm just going to offer you a classic full sun salutation practice, which we'll just do it once together. Okay, so coming to the front of the mat, we'll bring the hands over the heart. Before you begin, I'm watching the children because we've done this in class. I'm watching the children carefully. Hopefully you remember this. Our lovely welcoming in the new day, welcoming in the sun. So before you begin, breathe in fully and breathing out from the heart. Breathing in, taking the arms out to the sides and lifting the arms up. And then breathing out, coming all the way down as you did before. This time we take the right leg back. Now we can drop down to the back knee if we need a softer practice. Otherwise, keep the knee lifted. Left foot joins right foot into down dog. Hips are high. Then we'll drop down to our knees. And hips go back to the heels. Then we'll slide forwards and come up for a very gentle cobra. Then we'll tuck under the toes, we'll push up and back into down dog. We'll step the right foot through. We'll step the left foot through. Press into the feet and rise up. And then we'll come back to the heart. And that is 1 half round. So we need to do another half round to complete 1 full round. So hands in front of the chest. Breathe in before you begin. Breathe out from the heart. Breathing in to salute the sun. Breathing out, bowing down to the earth. Breathe in, this time the left foot goes back. You can drop down to that back knee if we need to. Right foot joining, left foot, down dog. Drop down to your knees. Hips go back to heels. Slide forwards. Rise up gently. Back into down dog. Left foot forward. Right foot forward. Rise up. Salute the sun. Come back to your heart. Lovely. And take a breath. Okay, so we'll just wait for the breath to settle. We guided that the breath should be our guide. So we'll just wait for the breath to settle, just taking a few breaths there. And then let's have a little look at time. Perfect. The final pose that we'll do is, it's really one for the children actually, because we've been doing a lot of this one at school. So it's our lovely tree pose. And I'm going to make it a little bit more challenging for the children because we're going to do a swaying tree version today. Okay, so let's come into mountain. We'll ground down through the right foot. So again, if we think about grounding down, big toe joint, little toe joint, inner and outer heel. Then we'll turn the left knee out to the sides. Now we've got different ways of working with tree. We can stay in that low tree. We can come up midway, which means we place the heel of the opposite foot either below or above the knee joint, but not directly on the inner knee. Or we can come all the way up into our beautiful tree. We'll bring the hands together. So let's just find our balance. Let's press the palms together. So quite firmly, just to wake up the shoulders a little bit more. Good. And then when you found your balance there, you can take the arms up and out to the sides for your tree. And we know to find an unmoving spot, just keeping us balanced and keeping the mind very still. Good, and breathe. Okay, now if we've got our balance there, we can go for a swaying tree. You might like to think of, I like to think of a palm tree, swaying. So let's just see if we can add to that. Just swaying your palm tree in this beautiful warm ocean breeze. swaying from side to side. Keep the breath flowing and steady. Good, and then coming back up. And if we bring the palms together now, a nice way to release is just to take the palms in front of the face, in front of the throat, in front of the heart, and then bringing the knee in and releasing. So just giving your legs a really good shake out there. Okay, so let's go to the other side. Okay, so if we take that nicely grounded position through the left foot and turn the right knee out to the side. This is going to be more challenging if you're, quite right-sided, either below or above the knee joint or coming all the way up. Palms together, pressing the palms together, keep the shoulders nice and active. Good. And then when you found your balance, lifting the arms up. And then we can do the swaying tree. Just swaying that beautiful palm tree. That's it. Lovely. Keep the breath flowing steady. If you've got a Ujjayi pranayama practice, then you can create that lovely oceanic breath as well. Just creating the sound of the ocean as you breathe. Good. Come back to center. Bringing the palms together in front of the face, throat, in front of the heart. And then bringing the right knee in. Excellent. And you'll really need to give your legs a shake out after that. And it's also quite nice just to release the knees after that. So if we can just place the hands on the knees, and then we'll just describe little circles with our knees. And then in the other direction, good. And then we'll do a lovely ragdoll as well, just to let go of anything else that we need to let go of. So let's just take the legs wider apart, the knees are soft, and the arms are nice and soft. And if you think of a ragdoll, just having a nice ragdoll swing from side to side. Just let it all go. Anything that you no longer need, just let it go. Good. Absolutely excellent practice. So let's bring the legs back together. And then before we have a nice relaxation, we're just going to do one final thing to release the back. So if we can bend the knees and then bring the knees in. Okay, so nice and open in the back body, hands on the knees. And then all I want you to do again is that forwards and backwards movement just to completely release the back. And then we'll drop the feet down, stretching out the legs, stretching out the arms. And we'll take our final relaxation. Okay, so really nice to cover yourself with a light blanket so that you're taking really good care of yourself as you relax. So if you need to grab a blanket, don't worry, I'll wait for you. So you're really showing, I know it's a bit of a buzzword at the moment, this self-care, but showing yourself some care, looking after yourself. So covering yourself with a blanket, making sure that you feel very comfortable so that you can really enjoy this time. And just checking that you're not taking the head back too far. That's quite an important point for the purposes of relaxation. If we take the head back too far, it keeps the active part of our nervous system very stimulated. So we just draw the chin down to the chest just to keep it a little quieter. And we'll invite the body to be very still now and very peaceful. Hannah, I can't see whether you're lying down yet, so can you just sit up and just give me a thumbs up because I can't actually see you. Oh, perfect. That's okay. Lovely. I thought you might still be sorting out your blanket. Fantastic. Perfect. Okay. So let's all lie down. And children, we know from class that in our relaxation pose, we need to be as still as we possibly can be. Even when the body feels like it might need to move, we try to keep the body very still as much as we can. I love that blanket. So just tuck yourself up in that lovely blanket now. And then we'll just very gently close the eyes. And we'll become aware of our breath once more. So becoming aware of the breath in the nostrils, becoming aware of the breath in the abdomen, becoming aware of the breath in the whole body. The breath in the nostrils, the breath in the abdomen, and the breath in the whole body. And to complete our practice this afternoon, we're going to work with a very, very simple affirmation, which comes from the mindfulness tradition, which goes as follows. And we repeat the words silently to ourselves. Breathing in, hear your mind say, breathing in, I smile. And as you breathe out, hear your mind say, breathing out, I relax my entire body. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I relax my entire body. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I relax my entire body. And we'll stay with that awareness for a little while. So just as we relax and rest our physical body, in yoga we aim to relax and rest the mind too. And then we'll begin to slowly deepen our breathing, releasing from this simple affirmation. Begin to bring a little movement into the body. And have a nice long stretch or yawn. And then always so nice just to simply roll onto your side so that you're not coming up all at once. And then if you come up slowly to an upright position, Okay, so we normally finish in the traditional way by rubbing the palms together, just marking the end of our class. Normally we will place our hands over our eyes, but we're not doing that at the moment, but we're still going to rub our palms. And then we'll bring our hands over our heart. So just taking a moment at your heart center, the seat of your loving kindness and your compassion. And then we finish with our special word, Namaste. Lovely. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, children, for such a lovely class. Thank you for coming. Thanks, Coral.
Hi. Hi.
Hi there. Hi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Who have we got? Let me see. Because I haven't got my glasses on. What are your names? Just remind me of your names again.
I'm Abby.
Abby.
And I'm
Anita.
Are you well?
Yeah.
Have you got lots of schoolwork on?
Yeah.